now what happens now, once you've received the order, it also needs to be fulfilled. Okay. Now let's assume that there's a cascaded network configuration. Remember, we had talked about various network configurations. There's a cascaded network and there could be a parallel network. Similarly, we can, let's assume that there's a cascaded network, which means that the BPP, who is the local retail BPP, is also a delivery BAP, which means that this BPP actually is integrated with another network, right? Another network where all the BPPs are delivery agencies, right? So here, the same sequence of transactions happens. The BAP fires a search, then he gets the list of delivery agencies which can deliver to this particular location and get pick up from his store and deliver to a particular location. He does a select and an init. It actually does not even need a UI for this, right? All of this can actually automatically happen at the backend. Okay, as I said, these are server-to-server APIs. The entire transaction can actually happen at the backend without the merchant even being aware of this, or the merchant can be actually given an option to select the delivery agency if you want. So depending upon how the UI or how the dashboard, the seller dashboard has been implemented, basically. So the same thing happens. If you see that there's a same sequence of transactions, same APIs which are being called again back and forth. And finally, once the order gets confirmed, the equivalent of order getting confirmed by a delivery BPP is basically a rider has been allocated and has been assigned to pick up the order from the seller's from the BPP store and deliver it to the end customer. So this is the delivery network, basically, right? Now you can see that there is a neat cascading of the local retail and delivery network. Now, once the order gets confirmed, now the BPP actually forwards that confirmation order, okay, within via the status API. So now to initiate the conversation between the BAP and the BPP basically fires a status API call. Hey, what's the status of my order? Now the BPP will basically get compile all the results which it has got from its confirm API from the other network and puts it inside the fulfillment object, sends it back in the status API call. So as you can see in the on status API call, the details of the delivery agent, etc., have been has been plugged inside the on status and has been sent. Similarly, as moving forward, as and when there are more updates coming from the delivery network, the retail BPP will continue to forward those on status calls to the BAP, and the BAP will render those updates on its chat interface. Right? So as you can see that slowly as the order nears completion, finally it says your order is actually delivered. Now kindly rate your order. So here at the end, the BAP finally sends the rating sends the rating and actually receives a request saying that thank you, your rating has been received and have a nice day. Right. So this is
Ravi, just to clarify here, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I think Ravi, I don't know if you said this, but the status is very interesting that Ravi talked about status. So it's a cascaded status call, which means the retail BAP did a status on retail BPP. Retail BPP did a status call on the delivery BPP. And the delivery BPP said, I have an agent by name Mahesh who's picking it up. That is actually transmitted all the way back to the local retail BAP. So it's a cascaded status call. And for the user, from the experience that the chat interface experience the BAP is provided, it appears as if everything is happening on one platform. So the user experience doesn't really get affected by the network layer commerce protocolization. The user layer can still be managed as if it's all happening on the single cloud. Yeah, just thought I'll bring that perspective while Ravi is demonstrating this.
Thanks, Vijay. Yeah. So this was sort of an example of how this entire transaction happens on a chat-based interface. Okay. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, that all of these implementation, the UI of these of all these transactions is completely agnostic to what's happening at the network backend, which means the exact same flow can also be rendered within within a UI which is say owned by say Google Pay, for example. Let's look at how this entire transaction happens, okay, via an example application like Google Pay.